Good morning. So today I woke up on time. I didn't oversleep like yesterday. So I can finally go to the gym at the right time and get my workout in where the gym is not crowded. Voice over time. Alright, so today my workout was very much focused on my glute and hamstrings. I also added in a shoulder workout at the end of my glute and hamstring workout, but I didn't include the shoulder segment in this video because this video is a bit more focused on what I did for glutes and hams. So if you can see right now from the video, I'm doing a lot of warm-ups. Usually before I start any workout, especially lower body workouts, I always make sure I start with a proper warm-up where I will do dynamic stretches, I will do pre-activation exercises as well, because I think it's very important when you're going to do any exercise to always add in a warm-up at the start, because you want to prevent injury, and at the same time when you're doing pre-activation exercises, you want to make sure that you can really feel the correct muscle working. So you see right now, my very first warm-up exercise was the adductor machine. So for me, usually I am very quad dominant. So usually when I'm doing any exercise, I always end up feeling my quads first. But that has improved a lot lately because I've been doing a lot more glute and ham exercises, which allows me to actually activate the right muscles quicker than I did before. So you see right now over here, I'm just doing my warm-up sets. I did about 4 to 5 sets of the adductor machine, and gradually I will increase the weight, and then until I feel a good solid pump in my glutes, then I'll just drop the weight and do a couple of reps more until I'm burnt out, and then I really get a good glute pump. Okay, so I think the one most important thing to mention is that when you're doing any exercise, mind-muscle connection is very important, because studies have shown that when you focus on the muscle that you're working, you actually target the muscle better. Usually my next activation exercise would be the hamstring curls, but sadly today the hamstring machine was not working, so I jumped straight into my first exercise, which was my deadlifts. Yes, a lot of people say that the deadlifts target more of the quads and the lower back, but after all that glute activation exercises, when I'm doing my deadlifts now, my glutes already feel fired up, and I'm using a lot of glute muscles to pull the bar up instead of using quad muscles and the lower back. So I think the secret when I'm doing the deadlifts is to make sure that my initial start, when I'm doing my initial start, my butt is low enough, and then I'm flexing. Okay, here right now I'm just showing off my Versa grips because the Versa grips has changed my life when I'm doing deadlifts. They really protect my hands, and they give me a much stronger grip to hold on to the bar when I'm doing my deadlifts, and it has actually increased my strength a lot more because I don't have the hindrance of my grip strength losing strength when I'm doing deadlifts. Alright, so anyway, back to my point earlier. I was saying when I do my deadlifts, I make sure that you see right now my butt is low, so I keep my butt as low to the ground as I can, so that way from the bottom I'm already activating my glutes, and then I use my glute strength I flex my glutes at the bottom. As I'm flexing it up, I'm using my glutes to pull the bar up. Get what I mean? Like I mentioned earlier on, mind muscle connection, very important. Wherever you're focusing your mind to, that is where you are using the right muscle accordingly. And for this warm-up set, I did up to about 10 reps, I believe. Just slow and steady, really making sure that I'm getting my form right and activating the correct muscles and not my lower back instead. And then after 10 reps, I ran straight into my first working set, which was the 80 kilos conventional deadlift. Finishing off my last 2 reps, and I'm going to go to the next slide. Here, so my 80 kilo conventional deadlift, I think for this set I did about 6 reps. I'm doing because okay, for this exercise itself, I'm not aiming to empty my tank. I'm not aiming to go to failure at every single set. What I'm doing here is I'm doing a maximum of 5 to 6 reps for every set, so that I can save energy and last through the rest of my workout. I think the one mistake I've done before when I was working out is I always like to push myself to the limit for every single set, which is not wrong, you know, but then again I realized when I'm doing that for every single set, I end up compromising my strength and my endurance for the rest of my workout, and then in the end it becomes ineffective instead, right? So tip over here is when I'm doing my workouts, I don't empty my tank every single set. I do to a point whereby I feel just comfortable. I can do two more reps, but I'm gonna stop there and keep it for the next set. Okay, so this is my third set. This is the 90 kilo conventional deadlift. Same thing, I'm trying to keep my butt low, and if you realize there, I'm beginning to have a little bit of knee cave in. Yeah, so that's a little bit of sign whereby my adductor muscles are getting tired. So every time I'm lifting off the weight, my knee starts to cave in. That's where I know that my form is a little bit compromised, and I know that, okay, I need to stop, rest, and probably do another set of the same weight, or if I increase the weight, take a little longer rest for better energy to pull through the next set. Okay, I think this is my last set here. It's the 100 kilo deadlift. You see how I lift off? I try my best not to use lower back. I really activate my glutes from the bottom, and really what I'm doing now is I'm pushing with my thighs, and at the same time while I'm pushing the floor down with my thighs, I'm using my hands to pull the bar up at the same time. So it's a push and pull consecutive moment at the same time. And yep, you see here on I think this is my last rep, my knees start to cave in, and that's why I stopped, because I know I'm going to end up using my lower back. So the next workout I did after my conventional deadlift was the stiff-legged deadlift. Okay, so this time round focuses a lot more on the hamstring stretch. Okay, so you see how I'm going down. When I'm going down slow, I focus on the slow pull of my hamstrings, and every time I'm doing this, I just imagine that there is an imaginary wall behind me. So as I'm going down slowly to feel the stretch on my hamstrings, I imagine my butt pushing backwards to push the wall behind me away from me. That's what I do. And then after, when I come up, I try to come up as fast as I can. But same thing, I'm focusing on the glute activation. So my initial pull is from the glutes and not the lower back, because today I'm focusing on my glutes instead. Right? So same thing, I'm driving my feet through the ground, and consecutively at the same time, I'm using my hands to pull the bar up at the same time. So it's an opposite force coming up, and I'm focusing on my glutes. So my first set done. That was the 60 kilo stiff-legged deadlift. I did about 12 reps, I think. And then I moved on to my second set, which was the 80 kilo. I think for this one I did only 6 reps. My hamstring has always been the weaker muscle, and then when it gets tired, I end up using lower back instead, which is what I do not want. So I do it to a point of where I'm comfortable enough and I feel the right muscle working, and then I know if I have 2 more left in my tank and I realize that I'm starting to move my form off a little bit, then I stop and keep my energy for the next set. Yeah, see how my knees are wobbling a little bit? That's where I know that my butt muscles are getting tight. And I think there was a 3rd and 4th set to this exercise, but I have no idea why the footage is not in my phone. I probably thought I pressed record, but I didn't press it. So yeah, I did 4 sets of that stiff-legged deadlift, alright? And then my 3rd exercise here was the Bulgarian split squats. Okay, a little tip for this exercise is when I'm doing the Bulgarian split squats, I try not to open my legs too far apart, because sometimes if I put you see how my left leg is hanging behind me right now, if I open up that leg too wide further back, I end up feeling a lot of stretch on my hip flexors, which is what I do not want, because I end up losing focus on the muscle that I'm working. So today, as I mentioned, I'm doing a glute workout. So what I do is I keep my Bulgarian stance a small stance, and then as I'm doing a lunge down, same theory as the stiff-legged deadlift. I'm imagining my butt pushing the wall back that's behind me, and as I'm going down, I don't go all the way down where I end up losing tension on my glutes. I go down to a point where I feel the glutes being fired, and then I activate my glutes and push my body up. Same thing, push the floor down with my legs and squeeze my glutes up. So for this exercise also, you realize I am holding on to a bar in front of me. Yes, of course, you can always do this without any support, and then you end up focusing a lot more on core. But I feel like, it's important to hold on to a bar, although I can balance without the bar, because I don't want to end up focusing too much on balancing that I lose focus on the main muscle I'm working on, which is my glutes. So there's a time and place for everything. When I want to train my core, I can do a core workout day, right? So today is glutes day. That's why I chose to hold on to the bar and focus on really maximizing my glute activation and glute growth at that point of time. And here you see I did a total of 4 sets and 4 sets of 10 reps on each leg. And if you notice, every time I finish a set, at the end of my rep, I will do a static hold right at the midway mark for about 3 seconds, and then I come up. So what I do is I do 10 reps. On the 10th rep, come up to the midway point where I feel the glutes the most. I do a static hold, and then I finished off that set itself. After this Bulgarian squat, I've already contracted my hamstring so much. So my next exercise is gonna be once again a stiff-legged deadlift, but this time round I'm gonna do a single-legged stiff-legged deadlift to just stretch out the hamstrings that have been contracted so much in that Bulgarian squat exercise. So this time round I do a little bit, I choose to do the single leg one because I already did the double leg just now earlier. So this single leg really focuses a little bit more isolated on each leg per se when I'm doing the stiff-legged deadlift. And for this one, I only did 2 sets because my main intention of this exercise was just to stretch out the hamstrings after that Bulgarian squat, and I want to go to a point where I really feel quote-unquote failure. So I'm just doing as much as I can in each set. I don't think I was even counting how many reps I was doing, but I know it was an average of about 12 to 15 reps per leg, and I just keep doing it until I feel burnout, and then I will just change straight away without any rest in between. So that for me was only 2 sets of about 12 to 15 reps, and then on my second set, by then I already know that my hamstring was completely burnt out, and I was beginning to use my lower back to lift off the kettlebell instead. That's why I stopped at 2 sets, and then I was done with my leg workout. So you see here somewhere, so I'm just, you realize I'm holding on to my hamstrings and my glutes now because I'm almost beginning to feel lower back already. So I'm trying to really use my last bit of energy to focus on burning out the hamstring to the very maximum, and then I am done. Okay, so after this 2 sets of one-legged stiff leg deadlift, I was done. I did a little bit of shoulders, but that's not in the video, and that's all. So I really hope this was a good informational workout video for you guys. If you have any questions, do comment down below, and if you like this style of video, let me know and I'll do more of this kind. Good, so I'm done with my workout. That was it. I didn't film the shoulder section because halfway through the gym got crowded and I didn't want to be the weirdo who was videoing my workout. So that was all. And time to get ready for the rest of my day. Hope you guys are having a good one. So not bad, it's only 8 in the morning and I already burned more than 1,000 calories.